All right, you guys. So we're going to do some IXL practice, and I'm just going to kind of draw on my screen to kind of show you how to do this. So this is going to be off of our lesson that I just taught you about the Pythagorean theorem. That is that a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So let's start with this example. So I'm going to put you on this KKT. That's going to be the shortcut code. I will have a link to it. This is going to be algebra 1, and this is going to be a little bit easier of the concepts. I still want to go off of the Pythagorean theorem, but give you more challenging problems, maybe even try to get to the geometry level, because you will be seeing this next year or in the next year or two for geometry. So for this example, the most important thing that you need to be able to recognize is where is my A, my B, and my C within this right triangle, because that determines where you put it in the formula. So let's do green, because why not? Go Michigan State, right? Go green. So I have A squared plus B squared, and sorry about the writing, I'll do my best with this, and then equals C squared. So that's the Pythagorean theorem. And like I said in the notes, the most important part is this C. That's your hypotenuse. That is going to be the longest length in the right triangle. It's going to be the length that is across from the right angle. So here's my right angle. Across from is 15. So for C, I'm going to put in 15. So it's going to be 15 squared equals, and then my B, they have it as the unknown. So it's going to be B squared. And then the other, we call it the leg of the triangle, the one that makes the right angle, is 9. So I'm going to replace my A with 9 squared. And then we just have to solve this for B. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for that missing link. So I would solve this. 9 squared, 81, plus B squared, we don't know what that is yet, and then equals 225. That's 15 squared. So it's really just saying like 15 times 15. That looks weird. All right. And then at this point, we have to try to get this variable by itself. So it just ends up solving equations. Let's get rid of this 81. So we're going to subtract 81 from both sides. Subtract 81 over here. And these cancel out. You get B squared equals, and then 225 minus 81. So you're going to have, this is 4, 4, 1. So 144. So at this point, we do not have B by itself. It would not make sense for us to put 144 in for B, because that would be much larger than 15. This is our largest length here. So we'd have to get rid of this squared. To get rid of this squared, the opposite of that is square rooting. So we square root both sides, and you get B equals the square root of 144. What number multiplied by itself gets you 144? And that number is 12. So that's how you would solve using the Pythagorean theorem. If you're comfortable in this, go on. Without me, I'll do maybe 1 or 2 more examples within this IXL to show you how to work this through. But then I would just put 12 in for my answer and move on. So I'll clear this off, and I would put 12 in here and submit it. Now I'll go to the next one. So much smaller numbers. It looks very similar, except for this one only has an A missing. So if I work through this, let's get my marker up here. Let's switch it to green, because go green. And I would put, and it's, again, it's A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So I don't know my A, so it's A squared, plus I do know my B. So the B is the other leg. It's the other one that makes the right angle, the other length. So it's going to be 3 squared. And then it equals 5 squared. That's my hypotenuse. That is important, that you always put your hypotenuse, the longest length, the length that's across from the right angle, and for C. So then we solve this. So this is A squared plus 9 equals 25. And at this point, we would subtract 9 from both sides to get A by itself. Subtract 9, these cancel out. a squared equals 16. And again, it does not make sense for us to put 16 in for a because 5 has to be the longest length. So then I would just square root, get rid of that square and square root. Oop, that's 16. And you get the square root of 16 is 4, which would make sense. It's smaller than that 5, and that creates then that right angle, so it'd be 4 kilometers. So I would then put that in, close this out, put that in as 4, and submit it. Now let's see if we can get, I'm going to jump here to the next level. So this is using bigger numbers, still bigger numbers, decimals, challenge zone. It seems like they're always, so this will just be like word problems. So eventually I'm going to give it to you where the hypotenuse is missing. So this one is not going to do that for you. So again, you would just put all these numbers in for that a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So again, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And even if you have decimals, just use your calculator, right? If you get to these points, try to not use your calculator the whole time, right? So I was doing that without a calculator. Whoa, that looks terrible. I'll get used to this though. Yeah, do that. I would do this one with my calculator. I would put a squared down here, and then I would say plus 4.3 squared, because that's my b value, the other leg of the triangle, and then equals 7.3 squared. And then I'd eventually get a by itself. So keep on practicing this a lot. You'll see this in Algebra 1 next year, or if you're going to be in geometry next year, you will see this even in geometry, right? Because this is a geometry topic. It's a part of trigonometry, technically, so you will be seeing this again. So let me know if you have questions. Try to get to the 85 to 90 range. That's where I would like you to stop. Or if you've been spending about 30 minutes on this, you can see right over here, it tells you the time elapsed. I'd say about 30 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes is where you would then have to stop, right? And if you really can't get to the 50 after about 30 minutes, then I would start asking me questions, right? And we can try to figure it out from there. So yeah, email me, Google Classroom, chat me, whatever it is, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. See ya.